Greetings, everyone. Hope everyone is doing great. Know what I'm saying? Having a great day, all that good stuff. Oh boy. So a recent situation. Imagine, right, in your household, not paying attention to certain signs, and all of a sudden things just get out of whack. Let y'all know what's going on. So there's a young man, right, recently, teenager, just snapped, killed majority of his family members. Everyone lived in the same household. They lived in the same household. 7 personnel in that household, including this kid. And this young man took it upon himself, get a pistol, some form of weapon, and killed his mom, dad, and siblings. Shot all of them, right? Now, his little sister, I think she was 11 years old, had to play dead. He shot her in the head and in the neck after killing the parents and all the siblings, killing them, right? She was playing dead and watching him staging the scene, manipulating the scene, the crime scene, that is. And while he was doing that, she crawled out of the window, escaped, got over to her neighbor. But before she even escaped, the guy, same young man that did the shooting now, killed his parents and his siblings, right? Called 911, called the cops, and told the cops that, hey, there was a shooting in the house, and one of his siblings was the one who pulled the trigger. Not that he did, that a sibling did. He's trying to play like it wasn't him. And it was for that 11-year-old sister. She's the one who told the neighbor and the cops that, no, that's a lie. He, my brother, was 15, was the one who did the shooting. And he's lying, saying that it was another sibling who did it. Imagine. A 15-year-old killing his family. Evil. So with that being said, we gotta pay attention in our household, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's a sad situation where you don't even know what a person is going through. I mean, a lot of times, signs might not be there, but we still gotta stay engaged. Know how we're treating others. You know, just having a conversation. But kids killing parents, and there are situations out there where parents killing kids too. It's just the world we're living in. It's sad, you know. But we gotta look at the bright side of stuff. At least one sibling lived to tell the tale. But imagine the trauma that she's gonna be in for the rest of her life because of this guy. And then he's just gonna end up going behind bars, whatever. We represent a lot, ladies and gentlemen, when we go forward, to and fro. We represent more than we think. For example, me. Not just represented me, Andre. Representing my father, representing my mother, my siblings, my children, my wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm representing my race, my age group, my gender. Yes, we represent more than what we think. So let's put it into perspective. If I go out there and I get caught up in some crazy situation, know what they're gonna say? This black dude, or Winston's son, or Linda's son, or Denise's husband, or whatever, they're gonna point fingers at those individuals who I represent also. Then, this guy in this age group, you know, I'm representing my age group, right? So much different factors. Oh, males, that's what males do. You know, so we gotta understand how this thing works. I know that our actions and reputation are very key. We gotta pay attention to all this stuff we got out there, well, whatever we're engaging in. Not that we gotta walk on eggshells or anything like that, but let's do the right thing. We got these mechanisms in us, our mind, our heart, our gut feeling. Let us know if something that we're about to partake in is good or bad. We could sense it, man. Stop brainwashing yourselves. We all have choices. Let's look at diffusing situations in a work environment, for example. All right, it doesn't have to be a work environment. And it's so super important to understand this. If someone comes and start yelling and screaming at you, stop for a minute in your mind. Just listen. Don't even react. As long as they're not closing in near a bubble, or you don't see any signs of any weapons or anything where they're coming at you. Stop real quick and ask yourself, okay, can I escape? Is there an exit route? Is this person blocking my exit? Is there somewhere I could leave this area? Good, I could see exit. All right, cool. I know I could exit. But now, let me listen to what this individual is saying. And they're yelling and screaming, they're carrying on. Just listen and pick key words out of what they're saying. All right? Now, you could say, can I say something? And they're like, no. Shut the blah, blah, up. Blah, 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 expletive. Okay, cool. Time to leave, man. It doesn't make sense trying to reason with this person because they don't want to hear what you got to say. I mean, are you a child? And even children shouldn't be going through those aggression. Come on, man. We're human beings, man. Right? So people need to talk to respect. But yes, people do get frustrated from time to time and they'll take it out on others. We don't do that, right? We're not taking out our frustration on others, right? But if it happens to us, this is what you could do, right? So obviously, if they give you the option to say something, you could say, okay, cool. Just now you mentioned this and you mentioned this. Did I do that to you? Was I the cause of that? And what you're doing when you say that, you're redirecting the chain of thought per se to like, well, you know what? This person is not an enemy. So it's really not their fault. I'm just venting right now. I'm just angry. And they'll tell you. But they say, yes, it's your fault, then you probably have done something to trigger this person and you might want to fix it. And the reason why I'm saying this, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we'll do stuff too, not realizing how another person might take it. You know, stuff happens in life. But we got to make sure we're coming to terms. It's not like we're trying to be buddy-buddy with everybody else and ooh, be a lamb. No, it's peace and harmony, unity. That's what we want in life. So if we really and truly offended somebody, we need to apologize and let them know, hey, you know what, really and truly, I wasn't really thinking that you would have gotten offended by this. So I'm sorry. Let's fix this. There's nothing wrong with that. But if really and truly it wasn't your fault, then you gotta let the individual know, hey, it's not fair for you to come at me like this when it's not my fault. But still, we could work this out though. We could try to figure out what caused this, and if I could help you, I'll help you, because I don't want to see you go down the wrong path. That's how you help people. That's showing love. Because this is a thing, ladies and gentlemen. Pure evil don't even talk. They wouldn't come there and start yelling and screaming and arguing. They're coming with guns blazing, knives wielding, sword, whatever they use, they're coming to kill. So when you hear someone yelling and screaming and stuff, cool, don't add fuel to the fire, because some people need that startup to get to that evil level. Because they're not built like that, man. They're pretending as if they are. They're not evil. Pure evil. Don't do that stuff. Growing up, chores. Back to these kids, man. We gotta have chores for these kids. You might have your children in your household just playing video games or doing whatever. Have you ever stopped and pay attention to that video game that they're playing? Some of these video games are not even for their age group. You could read the thing it says on there. You know, all these kids, oh, it's just a video game, yeah? Did you know that in our line of work, we use simulations to defeat, you know, certain aggressors and stuff like that? Yeah, simulation, man, how to actually do what we gotta do. It's like a video game. That's what they're playing in their rooms. How to actually shoot, where to aim, weapons, how to do certain things. It's teaching them how to do it. When I was a kid, I didn't grow up, like I tell you before, I didn't grow up around my age group, so I didn't play with toys. When my peers, I used to go to school and hear my peers, oh, I got this toy, I got that toy. I couldn't relate. I don't play with toys, man. What kind of toys? You know what my chores used to be? Maybe if they had chores, I don't know. But you know what my chores used to be? Cleaning a chicken coop. A lot of y'all in here didn't even know that. Yeah. Chicken coop, man. Somewhere where they grow chicken. I used to clean that up because it's got two sections for the younger chicks, and then obviously when they get older, getting ready to, you know, yeah. I used to have to clean that. It's messy. For those of you out there on a farm or what have you, you know the drill. That thing gets super messy. And it wasn't a task given unto me. It wasn't a chore that like, this is going to be your chore. No. I saw my grandma had her chicken coop. She raised chicken, and then obviously they kill it and they sell it. Right? And I saw her, she used to do it as after granddad passed away and stuff. And the pain that she used to be in, I told her straight up, Grandma, I got this. I'll clean it up. Doesn't matter to me. I did it. Well, from there on then, it became my chore for a number of years. Sweeping the yard, raking the yard, washing dishes. I used to do stuff to show that, hey, I'm a part of the team and I appreciate the roof over my head, and the food that's going in my tummy, stuff like that, you know. So I didn't grow up like the other kids playing around with stuff. And I used to have chores. I want to bring something to the table. You need to give your kids chores. Hey, go sweep the floor, go mop the floor, hey, vacuum the carpet. Something. Don't just let them be, because what you're doing, you're just breaking them into this habit where they think that they don't have to work. And then when they get to a certain age, you're wondering what's going on with this kid. Likewise, when they're growing up, and you're just letting them be kids, okay? And they're getting rough with other kids, and you see it, and you don't interject and be like, hey, hold on now. You're not supposed to be punching, or you're supposed to share the toy. You could play with this toy right here, and while this person navigate their thought patterns, their behavior from an early age. Don't let it be, because they're going to grow up thinking that's the right way. But you know, some parents don't even know the right anyway. They're kids themselves, immature. So we got to fix that. Back to love and humanity and how we represent more than we think. In 2018, I went to Vietnam, and it was a team of 12 of us went on that recovery mission. And it's crazy how that environment is set up. Now, on a team of 12 of us, I was the only black guy on that team. It doesn't matter to me, because race ain't nothing to me, man. I don't care. I step anywhere. I treat people according to how they treat me. And I mean, treat them better than how they treat me anyway. For example, if I go somewhere and I realize people are not receptive to me because of my skin tone, okay, I identify it and I leave the area if I can. If I can't leave the area, guess what? You're going to deal with me while I'm here. I'm not coming to try and change how you think or your way of doing business, but you're going to respect me as a man. See how that works? I'm going to respect you too. Now, I don't care what you got going on or how you were brought up, but you will show me respect, because I'm about love. See how that works, ladies and gentlemen? But if I got to leave, I'm going to leave. If I can leave, that is, because I'm like, who wants to stay in such an environment? They got this little talk about, you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do. If I go to Rome and Romans doing stuff that I don't want to do, I'm not staying in Rome, man. Not to call out anybody's turf, that's just a figure of speech. But back to Vietnam. Walking on the streets with moving teams like in fours. And I remember, well, we're not that far apart. And walking down the street, I remember vaguely, I just remember this. People stopped. This is 2018. They used to ride mopeds and all that stuff down into the area that we were before we went into the jungle. And they stopped in the street. The people, real talk, I'm not making this up. All these people out there, they know. And I'm like wondering what's going on. So with me, anytime I go in a foreign land, I have a linguist. Whoever that interpreter is, hey, that person is next to me, because I know communication is key. Everywhere you go, you got to be able to communicate. Effective communication, right? So I had my linguist next to me, and I realized that they're looking at me. Everybody's stopping, they're looking at me. So I'm like, okay, I keep stepping, because whatever, in a foreign land, it's their country. And then what they start doing, some of the ones came off their mopeds, and they start walking towards me. So I stopped. You know what I mean? And they were like, yeah, hi. Most of them, they weren't that much taller than I was. So I'm like, okay, well, let me stand up and see what's going on. Even though you can't underestimate anyone. Height has nothing to do with this, ladies and gentlemen. If someone wants to hurt you, they'll hurt you. But I didn't think I was in any danger. So what they did, they started walking up to me, and then my team now, the ones who were in different groups, they start coming back towards where I was. And they're walking towards me. You could hear them talking amongst themselves, like people, and looking in the street. I'm looking around, and like everything just paused. So I asked them, yo, what's going on? My linguist. And he said, oh, they're saying a black man. So I'm like, really? In 2018, they've never seen a black man? And then as I look back around, one touched my hand right here. Not making this up, ladies and gentlemen. I tell them everything I love. It happened. So what I did, I gave them the hand real quick. I'm like, there you go. And they were like, and looking at each other, I'm like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm a black man, and I want to make sure when I leave this area, they'll see another black man in the future and be like, well, that person is approachable, and we met a black man before, no aggression. That's all my thought pattern was. I wasn't in danger. The other crew members were trying to back them off, and I told them, nah, they good. They ain't hurting me, man. They good to go, right? And then the next day, and this was, we were staying in a hotel before we went to the jungle. It wasn't the best of the best hotel in this area, but obviously, you know what I mean, better than the jungle though. The next day we came out of the hotel, they brought me fruits, man. Whole bunch of oranges and what have you they were bringing. I'm like, what am I going to do with all these fruits, man? So I just start sharing up to the crew. And then when we got to the jungle, it was all females out there with their hatchets. And I asked the linguist, like, yo, where are all the male at? Oh, the male at the house. The women are the ones who work out in this country, putting in the hard labor. It's weird over there, man. But back to the point, we represent more than we think. Let's keep moving forward. Pay attention to our kids. Give them chores. Teach them about facts of life. If one or whatever you got, they're delinquent, get them help. Don't just ignore it, because they might become a menace to society. I was very vocal as a kid, lyrical, scolding people lyrical, and like, hey, verbally scolding people when they do us wrong, me and my grandma, my loved ones, they try to come at us. I was little, but I was very vocal. And I got a wake-up call, maybe at 14, thereabout. Got a wake-up call, ladies and gentlemen, when I stepped out of my yard gate, heading up the street after I finished my chores. I was about to go check a friend of mine, visit a friend of mine, and stepped out, and there was this crackhead. He's known in the area to be a crackhead, right? Crack addict. Riding on his bicycle. You could hear the bicycle coming from behind. And he just like, okay, let me just step to the left. And as soon as I stepped to the left, he just, like, didn't hit my shoulder and my elbow or anything. He just like brushed past it. You could feel the wind. So I like, so I'm lyrical. I'm like, hey, suppose you hit me with the bike, blah, blah, blah. You know, I probably had used some explicit. And that guy, I watched, that guy jumped off his bike and ran down towards me. He was shirtless, just like how Charles used to move shirtless, man. Charles, man. Big up Charles, anywhere you're at. Anyway, this guy came shirtless now, and he took out an ice brick, ladies and gentlemen. That ice brick was a long, rusty ice brick this long. And he walked up and he was like this. And all I could do was like, froze just like this, not making this up. And I'm looking in his eyes and it's like I'm seeing blood. It's like, it's that red. And then he just put his hands back down, walked off, got back on his bike, and right off to the top of the street and turned left. And even when he turned left, I'm standing there like this still, not making this up, ladies and gentlemen. And I looked over to the left where Mr. Knight, his house is at. I don't see Mrs. Knight, I don't see Mr. Knight, Denise, I don't see Dino. You know what I'm saying? I look to the right, Mr. Allison, don't see anybody over there. I looked around, nobody down the bottom of the street. Looked to the top, nobody. And usually people are out and about at this time of the day. Nobody was there. And I'm still frozen, like, wow, this guy could have just stabbed me and killed me right here and nobody would have seen it. Then I put my hand on, like, all right, after today, it's action packed. Brought me right back, man. And then, you know, that's when I start acting and start off doing too much talking. Then I had to grow out of that too, because the end thereof wasn't that good, you know what I'm saying? But man, it's a crazy world we're living in, man. You know, people snap any given time. So we just gotta be careful, pay attention to these kids, your household, you know, can't sleep with one eye open, right? But you never know, people just switch within a second, and then that's it. You know, so just please be safe out there. Pay attention to your kids, give them chores, make sure we're being positive role models. Know that we represent more than we think we do. And just maintain that character and a good reputation. Be a positive role model, okay? Y'all good? Alright, man, I'm about to go work out, man. So that's it for me. Y'all have a nice day. Until next time, one love.